And thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi. On this stormy, skies are moody right now over downtown Denver, but things will really start to pick up in the next hour or two. So far more bark than bite from those clouds, but that will again change in the next hour or two. There is a limited severe weather risk, but that cloud cover that we've got right now is putting somewhat of a damper on that potential for severe weather this afternoon. But again, those skies, they're looking mean, they're looking moody out there right now over the Denver area. This is what it looks like from Lookout Mountain. If you kind of look off in the distance there, kind of the right corner of your screen, top right hand corner of your screen, that's actually a little storm that's popped up over Wellington, and that is thanks to this. A lot of low level moisture that is in place. Dew points, this is a measure of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. When you get a dew point around 60 for us or above, that is very, very muggy for Colorado standards. Certainly in the Denver area, yesterday we had a dew point of 63. That was our highest dew point of the season. Again, point being, when you start seeing those numbers, mid to upper 50s and certainly 60 plus, that is very humid for us here in Colorado. Again, if you're from a different part of the country, you're probably laughing at that a little bit, but here in Colorado, we are in the high desert, so when we're getting those 60 plus dew points, that is pretty impressive for us. Meantime, that risk for severe weather, it is limited by two other factors though today. We don't have a whole lot of instability. That cloud cover is actually helping keep that severe weather threat in check somewhat, and we don't have a lot of wind shear today. That is the change in wind speed and direction with height. So we have one factor for severe weather, which is the low level moisture. We do not have the wind shear or the overall instability to really get stronger storms. So that's why it's a bit more of a limited threat today. Yesterday we had the instability, we did not have the wind shear. We had two of the three ingredients we kind of look for. Today we have one of the three, if that makes sense. Radar right now, it's a little bit busy for us over the Palmer Divide in particular. Also that one storm up by Wellington and some hit or miss showers and storms for us in the mountains. Flash flood warning just issued by the Weather Service office out of Pueblo for northern El Paso County, and that goes till 5 p.m. We've had some training thunderstorms. I'll show you those in detail in just a second. I want to start things off with the lack of what we've seen across the Denver area so far today. Again, more bark than bite. That will change the next hour or two. So if you're looking for storms in the Denver area, we'll get them. It's just going to be a little while longer. Meantime, up by Wellington, there's that storm that I mentioned. There's a potential for penny-sized hail, some claps of thunder, and maybe some 40 to 50 mile-an-hour winds within that cell between the Wyoming state line and Wellington. That'd be around Buckeye there along I-25 north of Wellington where you've got that storm overhead. But again, the majority of the metro area, pretty quiet. This is where things are at their busiest right now. It's really here across the northern part of the El Paso County area. So this would really be Monument Hill on south, Callahan, Highway 24 west to the Springs, Colorado Springs. That's where we've got these slow-moving storms. You may have heard me mention the lack of wind shear, again, that change in wind speed and direction with height. There's not a whole lot of steering flow aloft today, and that is what's leading these storms just kind of sitting still. They're basically setting up a camping chair and just hanging out over the Palmer Divide, and that is going to lead to some flash flood issues. So avoid Highway 24 from Callahan to the Colorado Springs Airport right now. That's where that flash flood warning is in effect for the next almost 3 hours. Meantime, as we head over the next few hours, we will see showers and storms. These will move off to the north and east. As they do so, they'll eventually organize into a line, and they'll move out of the metro area over the next few hours as well. But then, as we take a closer look in here at the metro area, again, the highest threat for stronger storms will be really over the next 2 to 3 hours, and then things will clear on up from west to east by 6, 7 o'clock. You've got those evening plans. I know it looks ominous right now, but if you got, I don't know, a softball game tonight, or if you're going to the Rapids game out at Dick's Sporting Goods Park at 7:30 tonight, or Red Rock show tonight. I forget who's playing tonight, but I know there is a Red Rock show tonight. I've gotten that question a few times. You'll be fine. I would bring the poncho with you just in case, but I'll leave a 10-20% chance for a shower or storm tonight. But you're basically fine after 6 o'clock or so tonight. And then really the next few days we're going to be dry as this ridge high pressure builds on in from our south and east. We start to see that drier weather move in for tomorrow, mid 80s for us tomorrow. And basically no rain chances for tomorrow. Far eastern plains could see a storm or two, but we're basically calmer and drier for us over the next few days. 7-day forecast, we head over the next little while. Temperatures really spiking up and we dry out. Showers and storms really don't return to the picture until the early part of next week. So Point being here, folks, as we head over the next couple of hours, this is going to be the main time for storms for us in the Denver area, and then we're dry through at least the upcoming weekend, perhaps as late as early next week. So busy afternoon ahead. After that, it dries out and warms up. More details over the next hour, and then we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin with more details for you from 3 p.m. on through the rest of the evening. Once again, I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.